Are we on? Hello? All right, let's get this started, everyone. I want to welcome you to NACCA's Indigenous Prosperity Forum 2022. We missed 2021, but we're back. It's awesome to see so many people. We didn't know how many people would show up, right? It's so hard to predict. We didn't know if this sixth wave was going to throw a real wrench, and I need to clean my glasses. Anyways, it's awesome to see so many people, and I know there's a few more out in the hallway. Hopefully they get in soon. How many from out of town? How many people? Look at that. That's awesome. Hey, isn't it awesome to travel? Travel, see all these people. Hugs, aren't the hugs awesome? I was just telling my friend here, Sunshine, that yesterday, Marg, where are you, Marg? Marg, best, yes, you, Marg, don't turn around and look back, right? The best hug I've had in 3 years was Marg the other night, right? It was just amazing. It felt so good and strong. It was awesome. Anyways, my name is André Jetté, I work at NACCA. So one of my roles is MC, but I'm also the IT guy, facilities guy. I've done communications, whatever's needed. So I'm new at this. You might have seen me in 2020. I filled in, we had Adam Beach as our MC last time. There's a few times he wasn't here. So I filled in for him, and apparently I impressed my boss because he was like, okay, you're doing it this year. Saved a lot of money. Obviously, I'm not getting paid for this, but anyways. But it is awesome to see everybody here. I hope you enjoy everything. We have amazing lineup, I think, and hopefully they prove me right. So first thing I want to do, I have a co-MC, someone who knows what they're doing. So Sunshine Tenasco. She's the co-founder and CEO of Powwow Pitch. If you haven't heard about it, she'll talk about that later in more detail. There's something else. What else do you do? Her Braids. Is that right? Her Braids. So she owns a company called Her Braids. So she's going to help me out. We're going to kind of tag team this, and you know, if my voice goes, then she'll step in, and vice versa. So she's going to come up and introduce our first speaker. You can clap for her.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm hugging everyone with a mask. So if you want a masked hug, I'm your girl. I'm the hugger. Seasoned professional is, you know, I've done emceeing a little bit. My name's Sunshine Tenasco. I'm from Kittigan-Zibi, Anishinabe. I'm Anishinabe, mother of 4. So we're just down the road. I'm here just to make your stay comfortable, to answer your questions and lead people and sort of do all this fun thing. So thank you, NACCA, for having us here today for gathering. I'd like to call up Leonard Ojic. Leonard, where are you? He is also from Kittigan-Zibi. Oh, there you are, Kittigan-Zibi and Anishinabe. So take it away, Leonard.
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour. My name is Leonard. I'm an Algonquin elder from Kittigan-Zibi. And I've been asked 5 minutes ago to address you as an elder. I speak from the heart. I've done this before for NACCA, and it's a great honor to be recognized as an elder by NACCA. It's probably the second highest award you can give a Native person, is recognizing them as an elder. Welcome to our Algonquin territory, our unceded Algonquin territory, especially here. This is sacred ground for us. This is our summer location that we used to gather to prepare for the winter and our gardens and collect our fruit for the harsh winters to come. We have a lot of issues right now on the table that we have to address as a union, as a team, along with the non-native government officials and native government officials. We have the United Nations Declaration of Independence. We also have that's gonna address a lot of administrative issues. It's going to change the way we do administration. The second one is the devolution of Indian affairs, which is presently they're undergoing movement to in that aspect. And imagine how that's going to affect the administration of our First Nations. Someone's going to have to step in, and those solutions and how this is going to be done is being talked about right now. And for a lot of reasons, we're not at that table. I think it's important for Native people to be invited at the table to develop these solutions and how things are going to proceed in the future. We have to, as Native people, I think we have to really force the issue and, get to those tables and not wait until the government decides on our behalf what's good for us. Very quickly also, I think that a lot of our leaders right now are elders, are getting up in age. I think it's time that we encourage the youth to participate, that we bring the youth with us in meetings, and we, share our knowledge with our youth so they can continue this, because these issues are not going to be dealt with in 5 or 10 years. They're going to be dealt with in 50 to 100 years. It's going to affect the children of our grandchildren. On that, getting to the prayer, I'd like to ask the Creator to bless our meeting. We have a lot of issues and a lot of important things to work with. I ask the Creator to help with open doors at the government level, that we be invited in. The Creator watches out over us, and I think that these types of meetings and these types of get-together are so important for everyone. Let's make the most of it. Let's try and also get to know people maybe that are sitting at your table that are not from your community or not from your area. This way we can, be stronger, united. Even outside of the meetings, if you see people that, seem interesting or whatever, introduce yourself. And get to know people, because down the road we all have to come together. These are major issues. Another issue that's maybe outside of is the war in Ukraine. It's sad. It's sad, and we ask the Creator to sort of maybe step in and try and bring peace to the world. Thank you very much. Have a good meeting.
Thank you, Leonard. Much appreciated. As he said, literally 5 minutes before, I tracked him down. You might have seen the slideshow earlier. It was supposed to be Elder Claudette Commanda, who's also from Kittigan-Zibi. We really like Kittigan-Zibi, right? We're on their territory. So, but anyways, Claudette wasn't able to make it. So thankfully, again, my friend Leonard stepped in for us. So next up, actually first, sorry, before our chair steps up, I'm going to ask Spiritwolf Singers to do a, oh geez, what did they call it? Well, would you say, Eric? Welcome song? No. Honor song. Okay, so they're going to do an honor song for me. I don't know the other two guys, but I know there's Eric Kakagamic and Randy Kakagamic. They're asking you to please stand for this song, and let's enjoy this song, and then I'm going to bring up our chair, Jean Vincent. Thank you.
Hey!
Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate that. So we're doing very good on time so far. So I'm going to try and keep this. We'll try and keep this going on schedule. So far, we're doing well. I'm not sure if anybody was told, but if you have an orange tag, so you can go to our NACCA booth in the exhibitor area, and you can exchange that, and you get a really nice baseball cap, and it has the orange hand logo designed by Brienne Island out on the west coast. What else do I need to tell you before I bring up Jean? I'm not sure. Lunch will be served out there, breakfast. Please visit our exhibitors. We don't have many. A lot of people couldn't make it. You'll see a lot of empty tables, but that's all right. Go visit the other ones. Our arts and crafts vendors, all Indigenous. They're out in the hallway. Support them. They need it. They haven't been to conferences, trade shows, powwows. That's how they survive. So that's starting up again this year. That's awesome. So please support them. And on that, I'm going to introduce Monsieur Jean Vincent. He is the chair of the board for NACCA. He's also president, I think, of SOCA, so one of our major AFIs. So, Jean Vincent, s'il vous plaît, monsieur.
So given that we are on time, so we'll try to delay a bit. Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank our elder, Mr. Leonard Ochik from Kitigan-Zibi. I'm proud to say that Leonard sits on two boards, for which I'm the chair, SOCA and APSCAN, based in Quebec. I also would like to say thank you to the drummers for this nice, inspiring song. All right, so welcome everyone to this year's Indigenous Prosperity Forum. My name is Jean Vincent. I am the chair of the board of NACCA, your host organization. Let me begin by saying we made it. After over 2 years, we made it. We even delayed our forum a few months so that we could meet in person. And I, for one, could not be more pleased. Having you all here reminds me how important real human connection is. The theme of this year's forum is reconnecting, investing in the return to Indigenous prosperity. And reconnecting is just what we'll do. After 2 long years, we will again be convening representatives of government, the Indigenous business community, and the private sector to spur investment in Indigenous prosperity. And we will invest in it together. I've been with the network of Aboriginal financial institutions since the early 90s. I'm still young a bit. And I can say that our approach has always been to work together with the government, communities, and more recently, the private sector to restore our people's rightful place in our economy. Creating the conditions for Indigenous prosperity requires all hands on deck and strong Indigenous leadership and commitment to make sure we are taking the right approach. We have followed this formula from the beginning and have enjoyed great success with it. Our goal today is to reconnect, to share experiences and spark collaborations that can make a real difference in the lives of Indigenous people. Fortunately, we will have key figures to help us do this over the next 2 days. From government, we will be joined by Patty Adju, Minister of Indigenous Services Canada, Mary Eng, Minister of International Trade, Export, Promotion, Small Business and Economic Development, and Jenna Sudds, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Women and Gender Equality and Youth. We will hear from Isabelle Hudon, President and CEO of the Business Development Bank of Canada, Michael Offert, President and CEO of Farm Credit Canada, and Larry Chambry, Deputy Governor with the Bank of Canada. Also, we have many chairs and general managers from our strong national network of Aboriginal financial institutions. From coast to coast to coast, our members provide loans and business training to First Nation, Métis, and Inuit entrepreneurs. If you wish to learn how Indigenous business development actually happens in communities, you can talk to general managers throughout the room. A warm welcome to all of you. We have also representatives of national Indigenous organizations. Dawn Madabilich, Chairperson of the National Indigenous Economic Development Board. Keith Martel, President and CEO of the First Nations Bank of Canada. Philippe Ducharme, Vice President of the Canadian Council for Aboriginal Business. And Kevin Eskaogan, Chief Executive Officer with Indigenous Tourism Ontario. We are also fortunate to have representatives of First Nations and Inuit businesses from across the country. We welcome you as well. In total, we have over 25 speakers and panelists joining us at this year's forum. We owe you a special thanks for your time. This event would not be possible without you. Last, but by no means least, we have Indigenous representatives from abroad attending virtually. Our AFIs are now a recognized best practice in the world, no less an authority than the OECD, the Organizations for Economic Cooperation and Development, noted this in a 2020 report. And so, Maori colleagues from New Zealand are attending to learn more about the work and impact of our lending institutions. We welcome you here as well. Before we move on, I'd like to pause on major events of the past 2 years. 2 years ago, at the 2020 Prosperity Forum, I signed a term sheet for the Indigenous Growth Fund on behalf of NACCA. The other signatory was Michael Denham, then President of the Business Development Bank of Canada. We learned soon afterwards that 2 further Crown corporations, Farm Credit Canada and Export Development Canada, were also interested in investing in our fund. This was in addition to prior commitments made by the Government of Canada and BDC. Our members had long sought that capital investments, so this was good news. The following year, in March 2021, our investment fund made its first close at $150 million. The fund's first investors showed it. The federal government was indeed serious about supporting economic reconciliation. We are grateful for the help from BDC Capital in structuring the fund. And I must stress, the IGF is the first social impact fund of its kind. Managed by NACCA and providing additional loan capital to AFIs, the fund is Indigenous-led and aimed entirely at Indigenous entrepreneurs. In a field dominated by non-Indigenous fund managers and recipients, this is no small achievement. Earlier this year, the IGF made its first investments of $10 million to the New Channel Economic Development Corporation, one of NACCA's members located on Vancouver Island. Indigenous businesses are already positively impacted by this investment. Businesses like A. Lilum, sorry for the pronunciation if it's not perfect, its owners, sisters O'Nelly and Sophia, designed clothing patterned with traditional Coast Salish art for all people to wear and enjoy. Alilum is using a loan from NEDC to build a design and manufacturing space on reserve in their own community. This new space will ensure they will be able to meet the growing demand for their designs. Another big area of progress has been our Indigenous women's programming. Back in 2017, our network identified the need to extend more loans to Indigenous women. In 2019, we obtained funding from Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada to conduct research on the barriers to Indigenous women in starting their own businesses. In addition to conducting research, we developed tools and training programs for AFIs and their clients. The workshops happened in 2021. During the long winter of COVID lockdowns, we had expected 10 AFIs to reach about 100 Indigenous women. Instead, we had 15 AFIs delivering the workshops to over 300 women, 3 times our target. Our network had tapped a huge appetite for tailored business training. And now we can extend our reach even further. In budget 2021, our Indigenous Women's program gained a further $22 million over 3 years. AFIs now have funding for dedicated business services officers for their women clients. They can offer microloans as well as further workshops. This will help First Nations, Inuit, and Métis women realize their business dreams, creating jobs, and generating additional wealth in their communities. It's a significant success, and one we'll hear about at the panel later today. These achievements and others were all part of delivering on priorities in our last 5-year strategic plan. I am pleased to report that we have fulfilled each one of the priorities, either meeting or exceeding our targets. And this was in addition to a further pressing priority thrust upon us by the COVID crisis. Like every office-based organization, our network had to pivot to work online. But more important was the impact on our business clients. In March 2020, it was already clear that Indigenous businesses would face challenges from the pandemic mitigation measures. And in fact, the measures heavily impacted sectors where Indigenous businesses are most active, areas like small retail, tourism, hospitality, and accommodations. Working with Indigenous Services Canada, NACCA quickly put forward a plan to assist Indigenous businesses. In April 2020, we secured our emergency loan program from the federal government. By the fall of 2020, AFIs had delivered over $85 million in relief packages. And by June of 2021, when the emergency loan program ended, 37 AFIs working through NACCA had disbursed almost $160 million to over 3,000 Indigenous businesses across the country. We also secured $35 million for AFIs to deliver the program and to help minimize any impacts on their portfolios. Throughout the COVID crisis, our network rose to the occasion, ensuring we would be there for Indigenous entrepreneurs, and we continue to be there for business clients that are still struggling. These are only 3 examples of our achievements these past 2 years. There are others: our advocacy on housing finance and procurement, for example, or our work with partner organizations on a national Indigenous economic development strategy. And there are future priorities reflected in our latest strategic plan. We want to renew our focus on youth, for example, so we can serve this fast-growing group of entrepreneurs. Some of us want to move into private housing finance, as the AFI I represent in Quebec has already done. Regardless of the area, I wish to stress, the secret of our success is our members. Whatever the initiative, we rely on our strong national network for both delivery and advice. Our members have had boots on the ground for 40 years. They are autonomous institutions with long experience catalyzing economic development in our various regions. I just want to recall that the network had made loans valued at $3 billion over the last 40 years. So it's something to consider. This is why our top priority now is to secure the program and capacity funding that AFIs require to support their lending work. With the IGF, our network has accessed capital to meet the demand from Indigenous businesses. What is lacking now is the infrastructure to support the growing number of loans. Our flagship Aboriginal entrepreneurship program is now undergoing an evaluation. For its renewal, we are calling on Canada to recognize our network's strong track record and to adequately fund the program moving forward. Support to AFIs has to increase to support the real change that our network delivers. I still have 25 pages, so please be patient. And in fact, the change we deliver is one of the first topics of this conference. We begin with an address by our platinum sponsor and early investor in the IGF, President and CEO of Farm Credit Canada, Michael Offert. Next, Adam Pfizer of the Conference Board of Canada will present his research on the impacts of AFIs. After lunch, we will hear a keynote address from Jenna Sudds, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Women and Gender Equality and Youth. Wage Canada is also a key supporter of our women's programming. It's fitting, then, that Mrs. Sudds will be followed by a panel on Indigenous women's entrepreneurship and innovative approaches to Indigenous financing. In the evening, we'll welcome you to our Prosperity Exchange reception and our Gala and Awards ceremony. And that's just the first day. Tomorrow, we will hear keynotes from Mr. Larry Shembury, Deputy Governor of the Bank of Canada, and the Honorable Patty Adju, Minister of Indigenous Services Canada. We'll also have panels featuring youth entrepreneurs and community-owned businesses. After lunch tomorrow, we'll have our closing ceremonies where we will hand out our many prizes. So this is the next 2 days. Before we move on, let me thank everyone who contributed to making this event a success. To our sponsors, especially our platinum sponsor, Farm Credit Canada, our gold sponsor, Fern's Software, and our silver sponsors, Meridian Credit Union and Futurepreneur Canada. Thanks to our board of directors who have steered our ship through some turbulent waters over the past 2 years. And thanks to our staff at NACCA who have invested countless hours to set up a high-quality program and ensure all will go smoothly. It's been a long 2 years, and a long speech too. We have had bumps on the road, but we made it. All the more important to come together now. Let's reconnect. Thank you very much.
bad, not bad. We're almost right on time now. Jean filled up all that spare time we had. That's awesome. So you're going to notice that in between the sessions, I might have to, or Sunshine, we're going to have to talk a little while.